Welcome to the gold standard, Making Millions with Malia, the place to be for conscious CEOs and light leaders who know that they have an enormous mission that requires millions to fuel it. I am your host, Jennifer Longmore, Clear Channel for Mother Malia, along with being a long-standing 8-figure CEO, investor, and board advisor who is committed to creating as many conscious millionaires as I can in this lifetime, and to debunk the broke healer paradigm that tells you it is not benevolent to make millions doing spirit-led work. We are in the midst of individual and collective ascension, and as we ascend, so must the way that we do business and money as light leaders. That is what this show is all about. So tune in now and find out why we are ranked in the top 5% of global podcasts and why savvy CEOs just like you binge our show each week and share it as a high-value resource with their communities. Now let's dive into today's Making Millions broadcast. Welcome back to the gold standard, Making Millions with Mother Malia. Of course, I am your host, Mother Malia, and I have been inspired to share some very important transmissions with you about the things that affect your money that you may not be aware of. And so in today's episode, we are going to talk about how to turn being raised by a narcissist into gold. Because, of course, nothing is all or nothing, you see. It is always and also. And there are many benefits to being raised by a narcissist, which may sound very strange to hear. And then, of course, there are some ways that it, I will say, negatively impacts your business if we are going to place a judgment on that. So let's dive in and get started. One of the things that I have done over the past 20 years in business is help people release trauma. Now, I do not market this, of course, because people will say, oh, I don't know if I'm ready to deal with the trauma. But inevitably, you know, trauma will come up when people come into my world to grow, because that's why people come in. They will come in because they will like to expand their business. They will like to make more money. And they will like it to be easier, of course. That is always the filter, by the way. And I know the same is true for you, that we will like to have more money, of course, but we also will like it to be easier. And there is nothing wrong with that. And I will share that, you know, when we have done all of the things, you know, and by that I mean we have perhaps taken the outer actions that make sense for the goals that we would like to bring forward. And perhaps we have done a lot of inner work, and it is not uncommon for entrepreneurs to invest heavily in themselves because they realize that is their best investment. And so you might be in a position where you say, oh, goodness, I have invested a lot in my business to try and make sales, marketing, etc. more easy. More easeful, and I have invested a lot in myself because I will like to be, you know, clear. I would like to hold the mindset, etc., the frequency that allows me to receive with greater ease. And still you say, oh, it is still harder than I know it is meant to be. I am meant to be completely lit up by my business. I am meant to have a flow and ease. Business is meant to be enjoyable. It is a vehicle that helps me serve other people in whatever capacity. And so what must be going on? Well, of course, we only leap to the degree that we feel safe. And that is, in great part, we hear a lot of talk about the nervous system. We know this. We know that in order to be a clear channel, we must have a regulated nervous system. And in order to receive and hold more money, that is going to be dependent upon how much stress the nervous system can or can't hold. And so if you are already taxed and cannot handle any more stress, well, then we cannot handle any more money, not because money is stressful, but because we simply overstimulated, I shall say. And what will happen is when we get into business, there are already going to be traumas there, whether you realize it or not. They simply will be there because, well, that is the function. You know, business is a great healer. It brings up the issues in our tissue, so to speak. And again, it is never about business, because once we are feeling clear, once we are feeling safe, once we are feeling aligned, taking the action is actually quite easy, isn't it? It is all of the things that get in the way. And so when people come to me and they say, I would like to leap into 7 figures this year, 8 figures, etc., On some level, they know that, oh, they are going to uncover the things that are there, but they often don't know what will be present, and nor will I. However, I will say that with 100% accuracy, when someone describes the symptoms that they are experiencing in their business, I know exactly what trauma is going on for them. I know exactly what was happening in their childhood to create the conditions, because there becomes a golden thread between, for example, the impact of being raised by a narcissist and how that overlaps in the business, or being raised by an alcoholic, or being raised, by a militant parent, etc. And there will be perhaps a little bit of overlap in the symptoms, but each type, I shall say, manifests in very specific outcomes in the company. And so, of course, today we are going to speak about the narcissist, because that is very common. It is, frankly, an overused word. Most people do not fully understand what that means. But if you were raised by a narcissist, and incidentally, I was, so I'm going to weave in some of my story just to help illustrate some points. When we are raised by a narcissist, the gift, the gold in being raised by a narcissist is that at a very young age, you will learn that it is all about that person. And so it helps you master the art of being very good at making it all about other people. And so fast forward to business, you are likely going to have great success in business to a certain point. You will have, perhaps you will be a quick start. We will say it won't be challenging for you to find clients, let's say. And so because you are so good at making it about other people, you go to a networking event and you are the most attentive person in the room, right? All of the people want to come to you and say, oh, I didn't come here to hire anyone, but I came here to get my own business, so to speak. But you present yourself, and boy, do I ever feel good with you. And so people will say, oh boy, do you ever know how to make it all about me and listen to me and keep making it all about me? So this is wonderful when it comes to either creating products or programs, etc., because you are so hyper attuned to what people need and to paying attention that you can serve with great clarity, on the one hand, of course. But then, of course, the Achilles heel is that you will never make it about you. And so burnout is quite high for people that have been raised by a narcissist, because the service never ends, does it? Making it about everyone else but you never ends. Additionally, you can start to become resentful of your business, because you will say, oh, I keep making my life about everyone else's life. When will it be time for me? I did not get into a business to build myself into a job, and yet I am working long hours. And so you will often do that. You will work harder than is required. You will likely undercharge and over-deliver, because it is not about you. You see, it is about other people. And so it is your job to be affordable. It is your job to be accessible. What do you mean you take Sundays off? I must be served every day of the week. If I decide to message you at midnight, where are you? I must message you incessantly on Voxer. You know, I will hear from a lot of my clients, oh goodness, I do not like Voxer. Well, what they do not like is the fact that they have called forward people that help them, that they called in unintentionally, because the narcissist template is still overlaying in their field and also in the foundation of their business. You see, these are two things that are very important. You can do all of the work to raise your frequency. People will say to me, oh, I thought I already dealt with my narcissistic mom, for example. But the thing is that when you start your business, you bring these into the actual foundation of your business. And so years later, you can still be calling forward clients that, I shall say, demanding, clients that will like to consume you, clients that, you know, you can never do enough for. You see, this is where, in other words, we might say that you are the cup overfloweth, and you will attract bottomless pits, because with a narcissist, you can never do enough for them. They are always on the lookout for who is about to take advantage of them. They have a deep fear of being vulnerable, so they put a wall up that is hard to penetrate, and they're very good at feeling like nobody gets them, nobody does enough for them. and they have to keep pulling and pulling and pulling and saying, make it about me. And so again, the gift of the narcissist is that they teach you, without you realizing it, of course, how to actually be a very good business owner if you choose to do that. And they can help you make a lot of money, with having a narcissist mom. For me, I learned at a very young age, I would be asked for hours to hear about her marital issues, for example. And yes, of course, inappropriate. But the gift of that is that my first year in business, this was many years before social media was even a thing, I was able to create unintentionally a six-figure business because I knew very well how to just keep creating things to help people. How can I create something else to make it all about you? And for the most part, of course, it was well intended, but of course, underneath was an unconscious trauma response to say, oh my goodness, people are going to be mad at me if I do not make it all about them. And you see, because there was so much crazy making in my home, as there will have been in yours if you were raised by a narcissist, that the stress, I shall say, that is created from perpetual gaslighting, perpetual crazy making, perpetual accusations that you are the problem, you are always waiting, you are always bracing for the attack, because you see, gaslighting and crazy making is so visceral, isn't it? It is so lasting in the energy field that we will never know until, of course, we know that that is what we are bracing for, but we are trying to preserve our sanity, right? We deep down wonder, oh, and maybe I am crazy. Maybe I am the problem. And so if you are a crazy problem, so to speak, then doesn't it stand to reason that you will work even harder to try and keep people happy so that they don't find out that you are rotten to the core? Now, of course, that is not true, but this becomes a worth issue. You see, you will say, well, I can only charge so much because if I charge more, people will attack me. People will make me the problem. And I don't have it in me to keep being the problem. On some level of consciousness, I know I am not the problem, but my own mother seemed to think, or my own father seemed to think that I was a problem, and they know me very well, and I am a product of them. So perhaps I am the one that is crazy. Perhaps I am not seeing. Perhaps everyone looks at me and says, "Oh, I am crazy. Oh, I am the problem." And so you will move through your business to the degree that you feel safe, to the degree that you feel that, of course, you are a gift. You are in fact the gold. You are the prize. You are the one that is supporting that person and having the outcome that they will like. But you see, what will happen is you will end up attracting clients that will never be satiated. I don't mean all of your clients, of course. You will have a very small percentage, actually, that will respond to the NARC template, I will call it, in your field and in your business until it is clear. And once it is clear, that is when all of a sudden your programs can fill. And not just fill, but fill with people that actually are very joyful to serve. When you are serving non-ideal clients, although lovely people, of course, you naturally have to work harder because you have something to prove. And you will never know when you have done enough to prove, right? And so it is never ending. You will never really rest. Your nervous system will always be taxed. And again, you can receive perhaps even to seven figures this way. But at some point, the foundation cannot hold even greater growth until this is in the way, or cleared out of the way, I shall say. So I hope this serves you today in providing insight about what the impact may be when you are raised by a narcissist, and how that, of course, serves you, and how that can also work against you, of course, until it is shifted. And so this is the work that I do with people in my one-to-one containers. It is not that we focus solely on trauma, of course, but if you have been doing all of the things and you say, oh my goodness, running a business is still more challenging than I know it should be. If I still feel like I am throwing spaghetti at the wall, if I still feel like I am saying, okay, it must be a tactic, and I must then invest in another course, or I must invest in another program because it must be an outer thing, or I must keep raising my frequency because I still am probably the problem, right? That is, my frequency is not high enough, and that is not where I would like to be. If you are doing all the things, and things are still not moving, I promise you that if, of course, it feels aligned, you are welcome to reach out and we can explore. That I will be able to support you in seeing very clearly how whatever type of parent you had has served you, and how we can alchemize that into gold. Because I promise you, once you become clear on this, once you shift it, it is already gold in your business, you see. But then we can compound the impact of that for very enormous income leaps that are easy, that you don't have to do anything extra for. They are just simply small tweaks that you will make, and you will finally enjoy your business again the way that you are meant to. So you're welcome to reach out, and we can explore that either on the social channels or emailing us at souljourneys.ca. So if this was of service to you today and you feel that it will be of service to others, please, it'll be wonderful if you can share that with others. And of course, tag us. And if you tag us and we see that you are sharing the love, well, there very well may be a very special surprise for you, because gift giving is truly one of my love languages. It is how I express love, and I love giving people gifts. So my friends, I will look forward to hearing how this served you today. And I will see you again on the next episode. Bye for now.
Thanks for listening. Before you go, if you would like to have a chance to have your name and business featured on the Gold Standard podcast, hop on over to where you listen to this podcast and leave a review. If you're selected, you'll have your name and business featured on our show. And in the meantime, we wish you tons of financial blessings, and we'll see you soon for the next Making Millions transmission from Mother Malia.